Okay, we're gonna try to patch a pool. We've got a pretty big size. This is probably not gonna work, but we're gonna try to patch it just to see what happens. What we have is we had straight line winds come through and blow our tree down and our branch down, and it took out our pool. So we bought a patch kit. We were using HH66 vinyl cement and these vinyl patches. The key here, I think, is going to be whether we're going to have enough material to cover. We're going to put this on the inside. I'm just holding this up now to see if it's even going to cover. All right, we might be able to get it to cover. We're going to try patching the inside and the outside. Actually, our pool level, the water is down right now, so we're not going to be underwater when we try to patch this. Although it says that it will work if we try to do it underwater. So anyway, I'm going to cut this to fit, and they also recommended that the edges be rounded off. And so it's going to be kind of square still, but the edges, at least, I'll try to round them off when we stick it on here. So we'll be right back and show you how that goes. Well, because we have such a large hole, what I'm going to try is a little bit of this Gorilla waterproof patch and seal tape. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to put this on the outside, and then that will kind of hopefully hold everything in place when I put my patch. And this is the patch that I ended up cutting that I'm going to put on the inside. As I said, I tried to round off the edges a little bit. For some reason, that was recommended in some of the videos we watched. We can't round it all off because it's going to be too big, so we just rounded off the edges. I assume that's just so that nobody catches them on accident or in case they start to peel away. Okay, so this is just Gorilla Glue.
Gorilla tape.
Gorilla tape. Thank you, my editor. And we'll come back here once I get this taped on. Okay, so all we're trying to do here is I'm just trying to keep everything gathered together while we put the patch on the inside, and we'll come back on the outside and put another patch over here too. I don't know if that makes any difference. It may be good, it may be bad, we'll see. But we also found that we had just a little pinhole right here too, so we went ahead and put another little piece here, and we'll cap that too on the inside and the outside. So the next step is we're going to actually take
this is just Gorilla.
This is just the Gorilla tape. That's all this is. This is the waterproof patch and seal tape from Gorilla. And like I said, all we're trying to do right now is just kind of keep everything gathered together so it doesn't flop around while I'm trying to put that patch on the inside. Yeah. Okay, so I trimmed the corners, and you can see this is a clear piece of vinyl. Might be able to see it in the sunshine, otherwise it might be kind of hard to see. So everything that we've read says to coat this liberally on one side, and then if you were actually going to put this on underwater, which supposedly you can, they would recommend folding it over, one fella said, like a taco, and then stick it down into the pool, or
with
if you're with the adhesive on it, stick it in the pool and then take it out and put it over your hole. We don't have to do that because the water level is already down, so I'm going to go ahead and put the adhesive on it. And this stuff is really got a really strong smell to it, so if that kind of thing bothers you, you better be either wearing a respirator or mask or something, because it's very, very strong. We've also heard that this dries very quick, so I'm trying to put this on fairly quickly. Not doing it as quick as I'd hope, but very hot day today too, so, and we're out here in the sun, that might dry it up a little quicker.
Ew, puddle.
It's all right. side, I think.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna give this a shot here. Kind of try to work all that excess that I had, kind of push it out to the side. Well, I got this a little too high. Still too high. I don't know, I may need to do another whole new patch.
You're probably gonna need to put more under the edges.
Yeah, it's not wanting to stick. Let me try. I guess I can try another patch, or I can try putting more on there. Here, I wouldn't. Okay, look out.
You got air down there. Oops.
Quite a bit of air inside there.
Probably should have bought a credit card out to smooth it out.
Okay. Okay, here we are again. We opted to just try something a little different than what we were talking about before. We stayed with the outside like we had it. We did not put anything more on the outside than the 2 pieces or 3 pieces of Gorilla patch glue tape on that we initially used to kind of gather the whole together. And then on the inside, we put on the vinyl patch first, and then we went ahead and put some more of the Gorilla tape on here to kind of take the pressure off that patch. And we left the small pinhole, we just left the vinyl patch because it looked pretty good. So we're going to try this and see what happens. We're putting some water into the pool right now. Hopefully we get the water up, we can start running our vacuum and get it cleaned up, and hopefully it won't leak. And if it does, we may either try to put more patches or buy a new pool, I guess. All right, we will come back and show you what it looks like when we get some water in it. Okay, so this is several hours later. This is still the same patch. We haven't done anything else. We went ahead and started filling up the pool. You can see now that the level of the water, I don't know how well you can see that because the sun's kind of glaring, but the level of the pool right now is above the first strip of tape we put in there. And it's not leaking. We did get a drip earlier, and I reached into the pool and on the outside and kind of compressed everything and made sure maybe there was a little air bubble in there where water was getting, but there was a little drip right here, and actually 2 drips, and I just reached in and kind of compressed both sides. And so that was about, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. So we're still holding at the moment. So, and this was really where the worst rip was, right along this line. And so the water level is just a little bit below that still. We may not really even have to get that high, I'm not really sure. It'll be right close to it though, so that'll be the real test. So we'll check it again here after a little bit and see how things are working. Okay, here we are a little bit later. We actually did get a little bit more of a leak right about in here, and my wife felt like it'd be a good idea to put another patch. This is that same Gorilla tape patch stuff we were using before. I didn't think it'd work, but it seems to be holding pretty good so far. So wife 1, husband 0. So we'll see anyway. You know, I'll probably let this sit overnight, see if we see anything. I mean, it may be hard to tell in the video. This kind of looks like it's bubbled out a little bit, but that's more effect of the shadow and the sun, really. It is a little bit, but I don't think it's really a bubble, but it could be. We'll see in the morning. Like I said, we've got it filled up enough. The water level is about right here, which is actually just maybe a 1/4 inch below the initial rip that was right here. You can kind of still see how it's indented right there. That was where the rip was, like this. And so we'll see. If it does no more than just drip like it is, we may be able to use the pool for the rest of the season anyway, and then decide what we're going to do next year. But I'll try to take another picture in the morning, and then maybe, you know, a week or so later if it still holds up. Okay. About 4 or 5 days later, and it is still holding. You can see, I don't know, this looks a little bubbled. Well, I guess there was a little bit of water in there. So we are getting just a tad bit of water in there. It's not actually dripping, but it looks like it's kind of holding it there bubbled. So this might be something that we look at again. Actually, I hadn't even noticed this until we turned the video on. So just a little bubble in there, a little bit of pocket of water that's kind of holding in place. And it's basically keeping it in the pool though. We're not really losing any water there. We had found another little hole in the bottom of the pool, probably too hard to tell from in the video. We're gonna have to vacuum this again, but there's a little hole right there. You can see the gash, this brown discolored area. And you can't really even see the patch that we put into place. It's very difficult to see it, but it's about that big.
And that was just the HH66 and the vinyl that came with it.
Yeah, that's all we used here. Out here we used that Gorilla seal tape, and on the inside too. Of course, that was sandwiched in between the vinyl repair kit that we had, that we showed in the earlier part of the video. So that's it. We're going to be able to use it for this season anyway, it looks like. Whether we use it next year or not, that's a whole nother question. You know, I probably not, but you never know. We might decide to. If it holds up the rest of this season really well, I don't know. Just have to make that decision then, but not a total waste. And I think all in all, the repair patches and the tape, you know, $40 if that. It probably didn't even cost that much, just under $40. So, you know, certainly enough to risk it, I thought. So, there you go. Good luck with your pool. I hope if you got big gashes, you're able to find something that works. I don't know. I never really would have thought this big of a gash we'd be able to close it up, but we certainly are closing it up enough to use it for the season.